How are we doing, folks? Good morning. Sunshine. Thanks for starting us off with the resub. Appreciate the almost 5 years. Welcome back. Happy Tuesday. We freed ourselves from the Master's Grind yesterday, thanks to Gengar. Obviously the best card. We're gonna take some viewer deck submissions today. Instructions are pinned above the chat. I'm gonna send one of those in. We have Decidueye with Spirit Tomb as our first submission today, which we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Anecdotally, seems much worse than Lurantis. We'll see if the practice works out like the theory. I'm up 100 points with the Gengar deck today, up to 1,400. Nice. Yeah, we rattled off 9 in a row with it yesterday, and then ultimately finished 10-1 to sneak into Masters. Tapu Lele is a heck of a card. Man, am I gonna even get to 2,500 points before this new set releases? What's the math work out to? If I don't miss any more, it's 155 points. 155 divided by 5. 31 packs. There's less than 10 days till the new set releases, yeah? Yeah, I'm actually not gonna make it to 2,500 points before the new set drops. That's wild. That'll be the first time that's happened. I doubt I'm alone in that too. I feel like their monetization for cosmetics every month a new set is kind of fast, isn't it? Laughs in Magic the Gathering. I actually think and it really shows, like, I guess how my brain processes things differently than a number of people, because I think the community's obsession with they're releasing a set every month and that's too fast is very silly framing, because the thing you should be framing it around is how many total cards they're releasing. Like, I think a 5 EX pack every single month would be great. I think that's very reasonable and a good amount of cards. 9 or 10 EX Pokemon every single month, I would agree that that's too many. I think we're currently averaging, I think for the previous quarter we averaged 8 EXs per month. We had a 10 release, we had a 5 release, we had a 9 release, so that's 24 across 3 months, which I think that's a little on the high side. But I think the being hyper caught up on the raw number of packs as opposed to the raw number of set releases or frequency of set releases compared to the number of higher chase cards in them is not an appropriate way to look at the framing and the ratios of things. Oh, right. I need to click through these at some point. It's also really how many meta-impacting EX you're releasing. I feel like this set had a lot of EXs, but few meta-impacting ones with shields. But see, I actually, the opposite, I think, Hoosier. We're coming off of an expansion where they released 9 EX Pokemon and literally just Giratina was the relevant one, yeah? Whereas, let's look at the actual numbers here. So, let's filter for 4 diamonds and sort by collector card number. This expansion, Solgaleo, Incineroar, Decidueye. Is that all of them? Are there only 9? No, there's 10, right? Am I missing an EX? Or is it sort of drug? Is my brain bad? Who's missing here? There's have I opened 0 base Simians? Holy crap, I've opened 0 base Simians. That's so, God, the economy in this game is so high variance. That's just incredible. That I have two 2-star. I have two 2-star Simians. That's so funny. But yeah, I mean, this expansion has 1, 2, 3 out of 10 EX Pokemon that are definitely competitively relevant. And then if you squint, Lunala, Raichu, and Crab are like serviceable, and then there's four bad ones, I think is how I would ratio it. And that's far above. I think that's about my expectation. You have like a third of them are good, a third of them are okay, and then like the bottom pits are pits. Whereas like from the set before, right? Like, oh, I guess Stoke Charizard is good now. So the set before we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We had these 9 here from the expansion before this, and we have two of them are relevant, right? It's Tina and Charizard. I guess Beedrill would be in like that middle tier, but like absolutely 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now that we're off of the expansion and people aren't trying to play with them because they're not the newest cards, like these 6 are all misses. Sorry, I love Wugtrio. He's fun. I enjoyed popping throughout. He carried me to Masters in the first season, but Darkrai, thank you for the 1.5 years. I appreciate that. Welcome back. But yeah, I actually think the rate of playable EXs in this pack was very, very reasonable. Definitely above average. Are there any new mobile games coming out that you're looking forward to? I don't think there's anything coming out in the super short term that I'm looking forward to. There's a Digimon card game that I think is coming out at some point this year that I'm looking forward to checking out. And then Pokemon Champions at the start of next year is something I'm definitely looking forward to. But other than those two, I don't think so. Yeah, there's so Digimon revamped their paper card game a little while ago, and they're finally making an official digital client for it. So we'll definitely be checking that one out on stream. And then Pokemon Champions had some type of leak or data mine or something that suggested it's going to be out in January of next year. So I'll definitely be checking that one out too. Yeah, Pokemon Champions is the Stadium-like game, and I saw some of the data mines or leaks that suggest it's gonna have like some roguelite or Nuzlocke style modes where you'll do runs and stuff through it, which I imagine that'll be wildly successful if they do it well. And too late to get a deck submission. It is not, Roger Ghoul. I think this Decidueye Spirit Tube is the only one I have in so far this morning. Thanks for the 38 months. You can never have enough bad EX cards between parasocial friends. That's true, Darkrai. Can I get 2 of your full art Sabrinas? I look forward to a day when I can turn my 2 of my extra full art Sabrinas into other full art traders I'm missing. Fingers crossed. Wasn't the drawing last night? Yeah, the drawing for the Into the AM giveaways, the winners were tagged in the Discord server. So if you weren't tagged, you missed. Double check in here that, yep, still there. Never click in battle again until the next season. You know, we were talking, you might need to refresh your stream, Ben, if you have the tab open from yesterday. Sometimes Twitch pin messages are weird. We were talking in the Discord server last night about this a little bit, but it was incredibly validating for me as someone who's in the mobile game space a lot, where there were a lot of people who were like, rank's gonna change everything for this game. And I felt like I made it to Masters really slowly this season. And I was clicking through and looking at other people's content, 'cause I watch other stuff in the content space. And I am not remotely the last of the larger content creators to make it to Masters. And anecdotally, basically, almost all of the content creators who are larger than me are still working to get there because they're also working on off-meta decks. And it really made me chuckle how confident some of the people were that, like, Masters and Ranked was gonna be this big thing and it was gonna be really important for content, when the reality is it's just like most people couldn't care less about what rank their creator is. They just want to see interesting decks. That's exactly reflective of my experience making content in basically every other game as well. I'm gonna put second Spiritomb out here, and I'm gonna drop a cape on the Rowlet, but I'm gonna hold this extra Rowlet because we do have a copy of Pokemon Communication. I would like to be able to swap this one out if we find that. Rhino, thanks for watching so much. That's your second Shillionaire, right? Or your third? I'm pretty sure it's not your first. Thanks for always being around. Let's make sure that trickle-down economy stays in action. We've now had 260 people redeem Shillionaire here in Hoaglandia. What started off as a funny meme. It really shows how grindy the ladder is if even the bigger content creators are to Masters. Not necessarily. I actually think, and this is, you know, I try not to be negative about Pocket if I can avoid it, which I know some of you are gonna scoff at that idea that I'm not negative, but I actually think it's a testament to how, what's the best way to put it? Pokemon Pocket ladder has been the hardest ladder I've ever experienced to climb with off-meta decks. As someone who's climbed with basically exclusively off-meta decks in every card game I've ever played, the combination of how long it is and how much better the top decks are in Pokemon Pocket compared to the non-top decks. Pocket, the power delta between the things at the very top and the things that are under it feels wider than even games like Magic the Gathering that I've played in the past, and definitely wider than things like Marvel Snap. So I think it's not remotely surprising to me that, like, one, the content creators who are the most successful are ones that are focusing on the widest range of decks that are interesting as opposed to just good, and that the people who are focusing on interesting decks are struggling to get to Masters because it's really hard to climb with interesting decks in this game. Hey, Roger Ghoul, best stab at updating Dusknoir Gengar with the new set. That sounds like a fun one. 10 out of 10 will do. Does win rate feel more impactful for climbing at higher ranks compared to other games? I don't know that I would say more impactful. You just, like, have to play more games in this game. I'm leaning on something that's weak to dark is really lovely for our spirit tube here. Tackius Rex, thank you for the 2 years. Appreciate that. Welcome back. On a Lowen Muck Enjoyer here. Hey, Jeff, do you read? Well, I mean, I'm reading your chat message right now. I assume the context of your message is, do I read written literature? To which my answer would be, I haven't read a book above a 5th grade reading level in probably a decade. I would be surprised if the promo 2 cannon was better than the 1 energy attacker. Lamatic, thank you for the brand new Prime support. There's a ton of great people you can send that to. Thanks for sending it this way this month and keeping me around. Those bits of direct support are a big part of why this is able to be my job. I'm typically reading through some type of young adult focused fantasy setting book with my 10 and 11-year-old. We recently finished the Narnia series, and then we are currently almost done with book 2 of Percy Jackson. Alright, so we need a big owl. We have two big owls and a communication. And the communication is guaranteed to be a big owl right now because we have the Dark Tricks out already. I feel like, later in the Narnia books, calling them Christian undertones would be a misnomer. They're just Christian tones in the later ones. But I'd be lying if I didn't say I did some, I did some on-the-fly filtering or replacing of some things in the Narnia books as we were going. Like, I definitely did not. I did not constantly refer to the children as sons and daughters of Adam and Eve. Alright, there's my big owl. What did you refer? Just humans? Because that's what they mean when they refer to them as that. They're referring to them as being humans. It's like that's they referenced as sons and daughters of Adam and Eve as like you're humans here in our land basically, or you're humans from. I guess it's technically they're referencing them as like humans from not Narnia. I think is more explicitly would be the what's it called? I don't know. Most of the time, I just substituted it in character names. My younger brother would always refer to Aslan as Jesus. It's absolutely Jesus Lion, yeah. Correct, yes. enjoyed The Magicians as an adult. That one is definitely, that's not one you could read with the kids. If you haven't been through The Magicians, it's like essentially a mix of M-rated Narnia and Harry Potter. Written by not a transphobe. Not remotely child friendly. Good TV and books though. Like that's if you haven't engaged with it before, like it's a very apt description. It's an M-rated mix of Harry Potter and Narnia. Help! I'm on fire! Please! Please, it burns! My poor bird is burning. Sorry if this isn't the sort of question you like, but did you grow up Christian and leave it as an adult, or is your family never really religious? No, I don't mind talking about that at all. I grew up very Catholic. Sunday school, altar boy, church lector, the whole 9 yards. And then I made the mistake of getting an education and understanding the Bible readings that I was reading. And I looked around at the way other people in the church were treating immigrants and talking about people who were going bankrupt because they got sick. And I honestly think you can attribute a lot of my current present political leanings to understanding and agreeing with a lot of things that came from the Bible and the church teachings. But then I am also no longer an active part of the church because there's so much rot and hypocrites inside of the people who are an active part of the church that don't want to take care of the poor and make sure in a world where we have plenty that everybody has enough. They want to watch out for themselves and they don't want to take care of immigrants and they don't want to do all these other things that we should be doing because we should be helping other people with all the wealth our country has. There's a lot of good messages in there that are very, very reasonable. It's the organized part of the organized religion where it really goes to crap, yeah? A lot of humans root everything, essentially. Oh, Nimmy, thanks for the tier 1. And then it's been a while since I've said this one. Someone always seems to get upset when I say it, but it's my truth, so I'm gonna say it. The difference between an organized religion and a cult chat, it's about 200 years. I don't even know if it's fair to say that one's my truth. I think that's just the brutal reality. Marketing. Yep. Marketing. Usually it's time more than anything though. Time and number of members. Yeah. That's probably a good bit of the measuring stick too. Ooh, candy. If they have Bother Gengar, okay, just Hypnoblast Gengar. That's fine. This is fine. If they don't have healing here, the Swirling Disaster puts them to, the Swirling Disaster will put them to 100, and then Pierce the Pain finishes, which is nice. had a really great conversation once with someone who was talking about how we should be obligated as a community, especially a prosperous one, to ensure basic needs are met for all members, and that gave me good perspective. I completely agree. I think too many people in the political sphere, when we talk about, you know, everyone should have their basic needs covered, right? You should have housing, and you should have food, and you should have health care if you're sick. And then people are like, well, people don't want to work for anything. And it's like, well, there's a big difference between, like, living lavishly and having a lot and having your basic needs met, right? Like, you could as a society make sure people have their basic needs met and still reward people for working hard and having extra things past that, because people are human beings, still want to have more. I think I finished this dork here. Am I supposed to go fishing for another baby owl? It's possible I'm supposed to. I explicitly skipped playing my energy out because they've got Tapu here in the back. This is hitting us for 80, and then we'll pierce the Tapu, and then we'll finish the Oricorio the following turn. Oh, we need to kill the birds they can't revenge twice. Yeah, good call. Spirit Tomb. This is guaranteed to be. What's his name, yeah? The other baby. The other baby. Get the cute little baby owl. Yeah, piercing the Tapu would have been a big mistake. Good show. They don't have an energy on this one, so they can't candy up to Gengar and get us here, which is nice. Oh, we do lose to a Guzma. Good shout. I was playing a Guzma in my build of this deck, but I wasn't playing Rocky Helmet. They probably had to give that up to fit that in, I imagine. Has anyone found a good deck with Kaiwei? The Stage 2 decks have had a number of successful results featuring Kaiwei. So there's a Kaiwei with Charizard, Kaiwei with Infernape, and Kaiwei with Incineroar have all put up more than one result in large tournaments. Sherman is telling us he doesn't watch the meta reports. Yeah. And the latest roundup had one in it too. Yeah. Pretty sure, if I recall correctly. On promo cards, anything new or interesting to try? I don't think so. I think Muck's probably still bad. I think the old 2 cannons probably better. Whoa! Spiritube's about to do its best far-fetched impersonation here. Get that 40 for 1 value in. Things you love to see. Fun fact, Swirling Disaster is what we nicknamed the bathroom in my bedroom after our recent experience with it. Alright, let's see if we can high roll up into the Decidui here with the rare candy draw. Unlucky. Any aggro decks for Pocket? I think the all-in Beedrill deck is solid, and I also like the two cannon Rampardos deck. Now, Skill Dive here does do 30 to this with weakness, so if we brick on the Decidui, they still trade next turn, which should be alright. You tried all-in Beedrill with Town Elder? Yeah, there's a highlight of that up on my YouTube channel. And then we're like a little better than 33% here if we count what's it called as being live. 2 research, 2 big owls. That'll do, pig. That'll do. And I think they're just cooked at this point, right? I guess they could have candy into Chomp, but I get to pierce this Gabite in the back, and then because Spirit Tomb kind of teed up the board, we can kind of pierce wherever they try and run. Yeah. Cool Squirtle glasses. Thanks for the quarter of a year. Welcome back. The Decidueye is such a fun card. It has such interesting decisions. Alright, let's throw this deck list up on the screen. We're going to play some more of it when we get back, but we do need to take a quick pause for the cause to let some adverts roll. I have one other viewer deck queued up after this. I think I'm going to take 3 of those this morning. If you're someone who'd like to send something in, the link is pinned above the Twitch chat for instructions. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Don't go anywhere. We're going to play in some Pocket to start today. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, consider tapping the like button. It doesn't cost you anything. It helps the content reach some more people. Appreciate the 70 folks that have done that already this morning. ZX, thank you for the 22 months. Welcome back. One of these days I'm gonna have enough time to take apart the pedaling system on this bike and grease the chain. Really need to move it up my priority list. The kids' extracurricular activities are coming to a little bit of a lull. Ice skating's done for the summer. Scouts, we don't have any more weekly meetings, so I've got some time in the evenings. Or tomorrow, I think. We're gonna finally get around to it. There's only so many hours in the day, gamers. Only so many hours in the day. You ditched a Kakuta in the Beedrill deck. No, I think you want both Kakutas for sure. Been a few days, but how did you fare with all the big storms? Were you hit by any of them? Yeah, I can I could add emergency alert dust storm to my list of climate change firsts I've now experienced in Illinois. And it was funny too, because we were getting ready to drive out to where we were camping Friday night, and we were picking up my 4-year-old from daycare before we left for the weekend. And Declan in the back seat goes, "What is that? Is that a dust cloud?" And Christy turns around to him and goes, "Don't be silly. We don't have dust clouds in Illinois." And then, like, while she was in the daycare getting Haley, the emergency alert popped up, and sure enough, there was just like this zero visibility massive dust cloud that like moved across everything over the course of 10 minutes. And I'm glad the alert popped up, because we definitely pulled off when it did, or didn't leave when it did, and there was very little visibility while it was happening. I know there's so much insanity and so much awful with the Trump administration, it's hard to keep up, but this is your general reminder that one of the many terrible things his admin is trying to do is remove funding for things that provide emergency alerts in the case of extreme weather events. It's hard. I know it's hard to keep up with the flurry of awful, but that's on the list of awful. Man, there's been so many psychic decks this morning. Spirit Tube is cracked when it's dealing 30. Yeah, I saw that the FEMA response, or lack thereof, to the tornadoes that went through Missouri was, yep, not great. Feels like we're getting blinded. Well, I mean, climate isn't changing if you just ignore all the warning signs and get rid of the alerts. And I play around red card and Mars by waiting to research here, because I won't, because we drew, if I didn't draw the Rowlett, I would research digging for it, but because we drew the Rowlett, I'm not going to be able to do anything with the evolutions or candies I draw, so I might as well wait to use this until we can actually spend the cards out of our hand. Yes, big don't look up energy. For sure. Whoa! The Golett Mega Punch. Man, it's coming at us fast. It's coming at us fast. This is the flip 4 coins cards on his stage 1, yeah? For like 4 energy? Am I recalling that correctly? Okay, and then my deck currently has a Dartrix and a Decidueye in it, so we'll communication, it will be 50% to get a stage 1. Unlucky. It's 2 coins, 100 per heads, okay. Hey, nice Hutch. Congrats on hitting your goal. Do they have their stage 1 here is the question. Yeah, they do. There he is. There he is. All right, crunch. Well, we hit the rare candy. Unfortunately, I didn't believe, so we don't get to clear this turn. Sedge. Is there anything that could convince you to do analysis on Red Card and Mars? Usually my rate for sponsored videos starts at about 500 bucks. And then for a Red Card's Mars analysis, I would probably need extra on top of that for pain and suffering for having to deal with the comments on it. I'm gonna be honest. I decided I didn't want to make that video, not only because the original Red Card video, like math-driven videos like that, don't do numbers. Like, I think the original Red Card video made like less than 100 bucks. But like, also having to deal with the comments from people on it is just like not particularly pleasant. Oh yeah, if you're newer here, there's a video that covered Red Card from before whatnot. Oh my goodness, do they have a Dawn and another goal arc? That would be crazy. Oh my goodness! Look at this gamer living the dream, chat. All right, if they hit average variance next turn, they still lose, right? So I get pierce the pain on this Tina. So we can dodge double heads, we can dodge a ball here. Alright, Papa Bird and all his sustained have flown the coop and murdered the Tina. Pierce the back line, Decidueye. Registras, thank you for the 17 months, appreciate that, welcome back. You know what else I appreciate, chat? My longtime sponsor, Into the AM. If you ever wonder where all the wonderful, colorful shirts I wear every day and the ones I'm modeling down below come from, they're from Into the AM. I've been partnered with them for, gosh, probably 3 or 4 years now at this point. My code has generated almost 30,000 USD in sales. We had lots of community members check out and pick up their stuff. It's a great time to check them out if you haven't before. Past graphic shirts, they have all sorts of other premium clothing, and they're having up to 70% off of everything in their catalog for their Memorial Day sale through the end of the month. They have a great range of stuff. I've talked before about my family's enjoyment of camping and stuff, so I really enjoy a lot of their outdoor things. This wonderful scene. I also have a lot of different fantasy variations and some space themes and all sorts of great unique artwork. Gengar video is a fun watch. Thanks for the unique deck. Thanks for 22 months, Pizza Crust. Welcome back. I absolutely need to grease the bike wheel. I've been mostly muting while I'm pedaling, but yeah, it's a little squeaky. Speaking of Memorial Day, by the way, for the regulars in chat, I'm taking a 4-day weekend this weekend coming up for Memorial Day. So we'll be here today, tomorrow, and Thursday, and then I'm gonna be off Friday and Monday is my plan. We are unfortunately cooked to a Candy Gengar here. Gast form, thanks for the 5 months. Welcome back. Split streams the rest of the week. I'm not sure. We'll see. Snap has the new card releasing today, and I'm not infinite yet in Snap, so I might focus on Snap a little bit more. The pocket numbers have been very, very schmedium at this point in the release cycle. The Snap numbers have still been pretty good. I think we might do a little bit more Snap in the short term after today, and then do a little bit more Pocket once they have new cards released next week. We should get Thursday morning. We should get the teaser for the new set. Is my expectation. In general, I believe Pocket is not doing that well. It is absolutely true that all of the large Pocket content creators have largely had their metrics fall off. As someone who keeps his finger on the pulse of what numbers in his content spaces are doing, Pocket's numbers are pretty solidly down across the board. Our cook tier. That being said, I think it's important to understand that content numbers are not remotely the end-all be-all, and Pocket's absolutely making piles of money and isn't going anywhere in the long term. I would be absolutely shocked if they're not still releasing new Pocket sets a decade from now. I don't know that content will be successful a decade from now, and you'll still have full-time creators focusing on it, but I think you'll definitely be able to still hang out and play the game. I don't want to spam the same question and be an annoying, insufferable person, so is my question intentionally ignored or did you miss it? So, in general, if I don't want to answer your question and I think it's annoying, I'll time you out. So, basically, you missed your opportunity for me to see your question because you didn't just repost it a couple minutes later, it was organically missed. And now I saw your question, which is annoying, asking if I missed your first question. And this is just a good general lesson for any live stream. You absolutely should never be like, hey, did you miss my question last time? You should just re-ask your question a couple of minutes later. 1000%. You done messed up. I don't know, maybe this qualifies as a hot take, but I think all of the people who keep saying Pocket's release cycle is too fast are silly, and the actual problem with Pocket's release cycle is the fact that you have basically no player agency over the cards that you open. I think you get plenty of stuff in this game with how fast they're releasing cards, it's just you often aren't getting the cards that you actually want to play with, and it feels bad to not be able to play with cards you actually want. Yeah, I mean, I made this comment the other day, but you know your game monetization is kind of medium when Wizards of the Coast's monetization for Magic Arena is more generous than yours. Fred, for reference, in Magic Arena, you can't open more than a play set of a card until you've opened every card of that rarity. So, for example, it would be like you couldn't open a third copy of a 4-diamond card until you have 2 copies of every 4-diamond card in the pack. And they also give out wild cards to let you craft specific cards far more regularly and cheaply than Pocket gives out pack points. I've opened 6 Incineroar and 0 Solgaleo. The person who I told to just come back and ask your question just came and posted, so should I post my question again in a few minutes? And really, truly, holy, I don't know that I can help you, gamer. I don't know that anybody can help you. But I certainly don't seem to be able to. I tried. What's one of my favorite sayings? You'll drown a horse in water trying to make it drink. That's how the saying goes, right? I want to put a cape on here so we don't die to Candy Rampardos. Never heard that one before. Oh well. Does Into the AM ship into the UK? Yeah, they ship globally. You can check their website for a list of places that they ship to. So I think the plan here is Lily, so we survive a hit. And then we go ahead and we murder a skull fossil. And then next turn we're set up to finish this. They could get us with Giovanni. But if we find the Decidui, which is 1 in 4. Technically 2 in 4 because there's a communication in here too with the Spirit Tomb. What type of questions do you like answering? I don't know if there's really a broad definition of question like that, right? Like what are my options? Can you categorize the different questions so I can choose a category? I don't know that I understand the categorization concept. Is Sniper Rowlet generally your preference? Absolutely, yeah. The Sniper Rowlet giving you flexibility to tag things in the backline before you jump up into Decidui is really powerful. Do you think the sea is salty because the shore doesn't wave back? There's an Aces question. I enjoy questions about game mechanics. I dislike questions that lead to people devolving into conversations about how they would rebalance the game. I think that's regularly one of the most exhausting things that happens in games like this, especially in a game like Pocket, where they're never gonna rebalance any of the cards here. I think people talking about like, oh, I'd redesign Misty to do this, or I'd redesign this card to do this. It's like, well, it's really a pointless conversation because they're not changing the text on any of these cards. Hey, Zuzus, yeah, I have room for one more Pocket deck this morning, I think. We're almost done with this one, and I've got one more queued up after it. I think I'll take a third today as well. I think that's actually, it's not that I dislike questions. Someone in chat kind of hit it. I dislike when people try to state something they're uncertain of as a fact. And a good example that it came up, I think it was last week, that I fragged a bunch of people in chat for, is I was talking specifically about how draws work at the end of games of Pokemon Pocket, and people kept stating like it was factual and incorrect explanation of how it worked. And in instances like that, it's so easy if people would just add words like, I think, or I thought, or I believe this is how it works. Rather than being like, no, this is how it works, and then explaining something that's completely wrong. I think we tried a little Vikavolt last week. I think it wasn't good. It wasn't good. I can post the submission link over on the YouTube side. Oh, my poor Rowlet. We're gonna dive the Grimer in the back. Just saying, I think 4 coins, it does 0 to 80. It's a big range. Pretty decent stat line. This would have been a really good stat line in set 1. It's a little less exciting with the power creep that's gone on recently, though. Deck submissions are 10 USD for people who are members on the YouTube side. You can scroll through the evil I game. You can, yeah. I couldn't remember what the baby did. Yes, we have entered the candy or bust phase of the game. This is good variance allotment on our part. Opponent gets all heads when they only needed 1. We take those. Candy? A piece of candy? Candy. Alright, a Decidueye, 2 lilies, and a dream. Let the snipers hit the board. Let the snipers hit the board. Let the snipers hit the board. Let's do it. What do you think rare candy tastes like? Something delectable, I imagine. Hopes and dreams, mostly. Good answer. Yeah, picture image on Discord or an Imgur linked in the donation comment or whatever is fine, because Pokemon Pocket doesn't have deck import functions. Poor Togue just seems so awkward. And I feel like having the coin flip effect on your card that you're trying to boost damage with feels extra awkward, because it feels like sometimes I'm spending a supporter and getting no value out of it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh! We are in pain, and it must be pierced. Oh no! I'm so confused. Yes, this is a game where we are literally only able to play the game because we had the good Rowlet. Unfortunately, we have been cooked by the buck. I could hit a keep. Unlucky. Cape could have put us to 100 there. Anytime you say, oh, a piece of candy, my brain immediately goes to the James Wood family. I'm pretty sure that's where that originates from. I have a lot of idioms that I don't recall the exact origin of where I picked them up from, but one of them originating from Family Guy sounds accurate. During the sneak peek, if we theoretically pick a card, avoid sneak pick. If during the sneak peek event, if we theoretically pick a card and avoid sneak peeking that card, and once we sneak peek one of the other cards and that sneak peek reveals an unwanted dud, does that make it a... I don't understand your statement. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what a Monty Hall problem is without Googling it. Larnix Punchworthy, excuse me for a moment while I crumble to dust, and thank you for your 111-month resubscription, which 96 months is 8 years, yes? 96 is 8, so 108 is 9? So that is 9 years and 3 months? Is that math right? 9 times 12, yep. 9 years and 3 months. That's so long, chat. That's so long. Math. Thank you for the deck submission. Sent you the screenshot in Discord. Got it. It will be our third one up today. I've got one other in front of you. So I had actually, well, I thought, found and hired someone to update the on-screen alerts so they don't stop at 7.5 years. Because 5 years ago when I got those alerts done, my longest sub was only like 4 years or so. So we did them to 7.5, thinking that was enough for a while. And it was technically for a while. I successfully got myself scammed out of $90 from someone who just, like, delivered half the work and then never actually finished up on what we agreed upon. Trying to find reasonable artists and people that understand stuff to work with is very obnoxious. Is 111 months your longest subscriber? Tubos is slightly longer than that. So my channel has been partnered for 117 months, and Tubos has a sub that's that long. And some fun stats that I looked up the other day when one of our, I think it was when Tubos resubbed actually. So these are from the beginning, at the beginning of May, my channel had 14 people who have subscribed on Twitch for over 8 years, 211 people who had subscribed for 5+ years, 365 people who have been for 3+ years, and 1,300 people who had subscribed for a year or more. Ooh, Geo is lethal. That's lovely. And then as a point of reference at this current snapshot in time, I have 2,086 concurrent Twitch subscribers. So little over half of them have been around for a year or more. 1,300 mods is above average, probably a little bit. Hey, thanks for the over 2 years, Winterfell. Speaking of, and Chuckle Monkey coming in hot for the almost 2.5. Tapu box, insert random Sage Shoe with Tapu and Oricorio. I mean, unironically, I think that's a fine way to approach deck building in this metagame. I would like to pierce your pain. If they have Candy, Alakazam, and... If they have Candy, Alakazam, and a red, they could get us here, technically. Hitmonlee and Marshadow and Shambles. Listen, Tapu Lele is... Now, I'm not going to call it strictly better Hitmonlee, because obviously Hitmonlee was kicking Magikarps for a while there, but man, is it a supercharged Hitmonlee in a lot of situations. Hey, thanks to the couple of folks that just checked out Into the AM using the link. Just got an email that my code was used a couple of times. Speaking of magic cards, they have so many words. They are tiny little books these days, aren't they? So I'm gonna be honest, the Spirit Tube with Decidueye felt significantly better than I was expecting it to. But I also think that part of that is because the Tapu Lele stuff has been really popular, right? It's kind of like the new flavor, and Spirit Tube is very serviceable when it's like hitting the active for 30 and then also chip-shotting everything on the bench for 10. I think anecdotally over half of the games we played over the last hour with this deck were against people where Spirit Tube was super effective into the lead. It seems like a fine way to approach Decidueye at the moment with all of the psychic stuff running around. Shaman also makes Spirit Tube not be good enough. Yeah, there's not a ton of Shaman running around right now. It's basically like just the Oricorio Greninja deck that's doing it. Alright, we are going to tap and advert so they don't happen over the top of gameplay. I think it's super rude when you're watching a game and ads jump out at you. We are going to put together, we have a request to build Dusknoir Gengar EX, speaking of psychic decks. So we're going to put that together here and see how it goes. Don't go anywhere, gamers. We got plenty more Pocket coming up this morning. What are Dusknoir's other evolutions called, chat? I guess I can find it by looking here. It's Dusklops? And Duskull. I see Skill Game is still the deck hitter. I haven't played a single game with it this season, but yeah, I couldn't bear to take it down. I want a couple of capes, couple of Pokeballs, couple of candy, couple of research. What do we want for our last couple? If you're looking for specific cards, the best way to find them is to join a Discord community and find other folks to trade with. As far as beginner decks go, it just depends on what cards you have opened. I do some weekly best decks roundups and meta reports over on the Hooglandia Pocket channel. I can give you some idea of like what the current top meta decks are. You can try and look towards building towards some of those. Yeah, Slab honestly might not be unreasonable. Just like add 2 consistency cards, play a communication on a Slab. I don't hate that idea. We have 10 Slab hits. Let's do it. Oh, do we want some Lily? That's actually a really good question. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I grew on 2 of those. Sorry, Slab. Sorry, Slab. This is why you're not playing anywhere. Check out this link for using your Prime sub. Cuts through some of the noise on Twitch's interfaces. Wonder if we want some amount of X speed in this deck too. I think this is our lead instead of the Gengar feels pretty bad. What's the best Gengar card? Definitely the 2 different baby Gengars are the best. I guess I do this, but we're still just like 8 years off of being able to attack with it, right? We will likely get details on the next card pack on Thursday morning. So keep an eye on the channel for a review of that shortly after it happens. My Into the AM athletic hoodie is my favorite piece of clothing I own. Nice, like Carrier. Yeah, I've got a few other hoodies. I have one of their zip ups and a few of their graphic ones. Problem here is even with Lily, we don't survive 2 hits. Yeah. I'm part of, this is, Rare Candy made a deck like this find its stage 2s more consistently, but part of Gengar EX's problem has never been just the consistency. That was part of it, but never all of it. The other part is like having to build up 3 energy for a 100 damage attack is just like not incredible. Are there any good stage 1s to go with the Tapu or Ikorio package? Banette's had some results with Tapu or Ikorio. It's not bad. Alright. I'm gonna chill on this other Ghastly for now because we may throw it back into the deck fishing for Haunter here. What new features or game modes would you like to see in Pocket? God, there's so many features this application needs. The number one feature this application desperately needs is definitely the ability to import and export deck codes. It's genuinely embarrassing that we are 6 months into this game post-launch and it still doesn't have this really core basic feature that all card games should have. I think I'm actually building up this back one now and leaving this one to die. After being able to import and export things, the next most desired feature is probably the ability to define default flares. It's absolutely crazy that I have to re-flare everything every time I import it. The player level cap should be 60 or 70 or 100, not 50. Let me reorder my deck list in the deck listing. Yeah, that would be another good one to get. Hey, order my Pokemon in the deck editor in the order they appear in the Pokedex, not the order that the cards appear with their collection number. There's so many little things like that where you just like look at how they've decided to do it. It's just like who made these decisions? As far as gameplay features go, you should have the ability to undo placing an energy on the board so long as that energy didn't trigger a game state action like Darkrai. There's no reason you should be punished for like fat fingering your energy onto the wrong Pokemon when you're playing on mobile when it has no impact on the board. The overall match timer being 20 minutes is unnecessarily long, as is the individual 45-second action. I would wager those individual timers are super long because they don't pause the timer while animations are playing. So rather than having a better software stack that pauses timers appropriately while animations are going, they just gave everybody way too much time. Yeah, give me a checkbox that makes it auto flip the coin instead of making me drag the coin across the screen. I genuinely, I think if I sat down and they're like, Jeff, you need to write down everything you want and we'll do it, I think I would probably have 2, 3, 4 pages of notes after an hour or two of thinking about it. I also, I'm not remotely holding my breath at any of these things actually being added because it feels like, given the amount of, or lack thereof, quality of life features we've had implemented so far in the first 6 months, they're probably pretty happy to just let the money printer go burr and just phone it in for the most part. I would be shocked if we get too many new features in this game other than new cards over the course of this next year. Well, I guess we're gonna get a trading update. They told us a trading update's coming this year to do Stardust. I think that's my only expectation, really. Yeah, be able to open multiple promo packs at once instead of one card at a time. I enjoy the coin flip action, sure. That's why if you go back and listen to what I said, I didn't say you should always auto flip the coin. I said you should give me, a person who understands the way I flip it has no bearing on the outcome in this computer application, the ability to turn that off. So I am not explicitly requesting your joy be taken away. I am making the express request that things be improved for me while leaving it the same for you. Maybe they're waiting for the PC client. To be fair, I wouldn't be super surprised if this game eventually got a Switch 2 client. PC client would surprise me. I think Switch 2's in the cards. As this game gets older, will it be harder for new players to join and play competitively? Not really, actually. And there's 2 reasons for that. One, once they adjust trading to make it more reasonable, that'll be a good thing that keeps trading. Trading will make it somewhat easier to get older cards. And 2, if they just continue to aggressively power creep like they have been, most of the older cards won't matter. So. Would some sort of faster gameplay mode suit this game's core loop? I would love a turbo mode. That'd be sweet. Take all the timers and cut them in half. Believe we are cooked gamers. Alright, I got a couple more L's in me for Gengar, but I think I can pretty firmly say this deck is as bad as expected. Yes! Disable the auto adding energy every time I adjust a single card in my deck. It's completely unnecessary. I know it thinks it's helping, but it's really not. At least with Mew not being in a metagame card anymore, that's like slightly less relevant. It was super obnoxious when you wanted Mew in most of your decks and never wanted Psychic Energy for it, basically. Yeah, Drudagon and Mew were like the biggest offenders of that one. Ooh, 2x speed on auto mode for levels you've already beaten. That's a good one. That's a very common feature in gacha games that have an auto battle mode. 10 out of 10 would sign up for that one. Alright, assuredly my opponent never flips two heads here, right? That would just be rude. We talked about Mew when we summoned the Celebi. It's been a while since I've thought about this card's name. Ooh, they're not blooming. X Speed. There's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Gengar EX is devilishly evil against an Erica deck, though. Nice healing, nerd. They haven't played. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to do this. If they have Candy plus Meowscarada, I'm a little sad, but locking them out of supporters is appealing. Like, even in this instance, right? Like, Bother Gengar probably would have just been better, huh? Do you have high or even mid hopes for Elixir? Not really, Apoc. I think we're kind of in a snap holding pattern until the next season. Or until the next OTA next week. I mentioned it earlier. I'm actually planning to take a 4-day weekend this weekend since we're at low points in the content cycle for both. My kid's last day of school is tomorrow, so we're going to spend four days out at the camper playing frisbee golf and enjoying the outdoors. And we'll likely have new Pokemon card packs at the end of next week, 29th, I believe. Gengar, Dusknoir assembled. What are the outdoors? They're this pretty neat video game. The graphics are pretty good, but the mechanics tend to be a little pay to win. It's usually why we stick to more of the outdoor levels with my family. Tend to be a little bit less pay to win than others. What camper quality of life updates do you want the most? So, my wife and I actually bought the camper from my grandparents 3 years ago now, and we're finally doing more stuff to make it our own. So one of the reasons why we're taking a 4-day weekend to go out there is Friday, I'm tearing up the carpet in the bedroom in the camper. That's a decade old at this point and has had like, you know, it's just decade-old carpet in a camper, and we're putting down click-lock vinyl flooring in there. That should be an adventure to do that myself, but it's a good excuse to learn some stuff. Oricorio Shaman. Nope, I'm done. Take your win. Mulligan. Next. Zeus Juice, thank you for the half a year. Welcome back. Learn stuff, the outdoors. What is this place? Yep. Yeah, I watched a YouTube video about installing the click lock flooring. It didn't seem too terrible. And it's like in the bedroom at my camper, so if I jack it up a little bit, it's not the end of the world. If you're putting it on concrete or wood, make sure you add a vapor barrier. Yeah, it's, the floor is plywood, I believe. I pulled the carpet up before we left last time. Pretty sure it's plywood. I'm taking a 4-day weekend to tear up carpet in my camper used to mean something very different in the 70s. You nasty. I think I want to lock them out of playing another research. I have a communication in my deck, so I'm not going to play the other Ghastly out, because I want to be able to swap it out for Dusknoir Evolutions if possible here. Lock him up. Yeah, I believe so, Kevin. I have a circular saw, too. In case I need to cut it with that. Jeff defeats racism. We have in fact. People keep asking me what I want from the next set in Pokemon Pocket. I think the one big thing we still don't have that I'm a little surprised at is no Dragon EX Pokemon yet. Hopefully we get those sometime soon. You know, I assume energy dual type fixing will happen at the same set we get a Dragon EX, because the Dragon EX will be dual typed. Do you buy the crown rares or just 2 full arts? It depends on the set. And by that I mean literally the only crown rare I've ever wanted was the Pokeball. So generally speaking, the 2 stars are my preference. Alright, I'm gonna go dig in for a baby ghost here. Pretty bold of Jeff to assume a Dragon EX will be playable. That's fair. Sad, but fair. I assume the Pokemon Pocket team has, like, Crown Rare Professor's research, like, queued up and ready to go as an asset. And it's just gonna be, like, the break glass in case of economic emergency. You're like, oh god, profits were down last pack, better put the Crown Rare in the next one. Think I'm giving this one up. And then we'll work on the Gengar here. For a dual energy fixing card, it'd be more viable to make a card that changes energy, a card that gives you a reroll at the energy. You can do both. They could also make, like, there's so many ways they could do it too. They could have like a dragon scale piece of equipment that said like energy on this Pokemon can be used as energy of any type, but it only works on a dragon. You have a favorite gen not represented in Pocket yet. I mean, as a millennial, I'm legally obligated to answer Gen 2 to that question. Yeah, the Pokemon company finds me if I answer anything other than Gen 2 there. This shadowy spellbind locking them out of playing Lily unironically could win this game. Gen 2 will be Pocket's break in case of emergency. Yeah, probably, honestly. Alright, let's bind him up. spookiest of shots. And the first steam artillery here kills Dusknor. And Gengar will still be at full. So even though this is at 90, it still pulls the full 150 off of Gengar. They get their second point, but I get to keep my Gengar and my 2-pointer. And without their own copy of Lily, they should just be locked here, right? And we're not dead to anything like Sabrina because Gengar says, "Hey, you can't do that." This deck definitely assembles a formal sleeper hold better than anything else I've played in this game. Obviously not necessarily an amazing deck because there's a lot of moving bits that gotta come together. You gotta get your 3 energy on it, but when the ghost bullies all come out to play, pretty reasonable. Alright, we're going to take a brief pause for the cause to let some adverts roll. When we get back, we are going to play some Snorlax Tapu Lele featuring Comfy and the Koala Bear. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Don't go anywhere, gamers. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, consider tap the like button. It doesn't cost you anything and helps the content reach some more people. Appreciate the almost 200 folks that have done that already today. What does this card do? Each your Pokemon that has Psychic Energy attached to it recovers all special conditions and can't be affected by special conditions. Ah, so that's why we have the Koala. It's a 70 for 2 and it's normally comatose. Hey, Dadley, thanks for the almost 2 years. Welcome back. Appreciate you dropping that off, even if you're on a little bit of a break. Hope your personal sphere is doing well. So we have 2 capes, 2 berries, 2 Elimas, a Guzma, 2 research, 2 Pokeball, and a Dawn. Yeah, fun mix of pocket monsters in this one. I love how the only Pokemon you have favorited is Farfetch'd. I actually just swapped that for the new one, huh? No, there's a Shaman in here and a Mew. I think Mew was in here too at one point. Is it not anymore? It must not be anymore. No, it's there. From a simpler era, gamers. For a simpler era. 30 more minutes of pedaling. Then I get some lunch. We can do it! What are we doing for lunch? I have some chickpea salad in the fridge upstairs. And probably some extra chickpeas with hummus on the side. Leaning on. Leaning on Tina seems not ideal. It's a lot of chickens, chat. It's a lot. It's a lot of chickens over there. Tina kind of provides its own retreat costs over the course of a couple of turns, I suppose. Snorlax does not enjoy alone, right, you? So this only puts itself to sleep if it's getting energy while in the active spot. So we can slide an energy on here and then swap these out next turn to hit the Patchy. Well, their Raichu's ready to go down. I think it's this. Caped Komala lives Raichu. No, Raichu does 30 more for each energy, so it does 120 to something with 2. We'll tackle this, and then if they put Raichu up here, I can Tina with Dawn off the Snorlax and crack it for 130. And then if we find our copy of Tapu Lele, we can finish with that. Losing our Dawns. Unfortunate. I can't believe people play this card, chat. It's so funny. It's so funny to me that people play red card. It's just oh man. A true red card moment. Got the Dawn back. And got the Tapu Lele out of it. Because again, I really just can't emphasize enough. Pokemon Pocket is not a game about having more cards. Pokemon Pocket is a game about having the right cards. Oh, I forgot we die. Rats, the red card was so good. It's been so long since I've played Giratina. I don't think we had any lines there, right? Did we have any lines? I mean, they get to feel good about their red card. That seems like a pretty nightmare matchup for our B tier pile of cards. Sorry, B's probably being generous, but an Oricorio plus a Raichu feels like a tough squeeze here, huh? It could maybe be B tier because it's playing Tina, that's true. Deck is clearly S tier, where the S stands for Snorlax. Now you're thinking with portals. I queue up with my Snorlax Giratina deck and queue into 2 Oricorio Raichus in a row. Wake up, sheeple. Wake up! Get your Comfey and attach your psychic energy to it and wake up. Grab a brush, put a little makeup. All right, it's not a lightning energy, chat. We have a chance. Comatose Koala. Tapu Lele, Giratina. Oh, I have so many choices, chat. I have so many choices. Alright, like, I mean, this looks pretty good for my opponent, except I have Giratina and the card's cracked, yeah? It's just like what it comes down to. Like, sure, you had your 2-card combo, here's my 1-card combo. Look at that face. Look at that face! I think the greatest troll Dina has played on the Pokemon Pocket community is putting this face on a card we're all forced to play with. Classic 1-card combo, yes. Ooh, a fellow Snorlax enjoyer, eh? They have Berry, we could be in trouble. What's Comfey do? Comfey makes it so cards that have psychic energy on them aren't impacted by status conditions on my side of the board. Prevents Snorlax from missing its sleep flips and keeps the koala awake. My assumption is the answer is this is too cute. I'm curious to see if it feels at all relevant ever. I think the game plan here is pivot to finish with the Tapu. Illiba! Wait, that's cheating. It's weird how many status countering effects there are in this game when so many of the Pokemon that give status effects effectively do nothing without them. I agree, actually. I think a lot of the cards that are designed to counter status effects in this game are some bad designs. It feels like they're taking cards that already struggle to be playable and push them into wholly unplayability. This on my Tapu just in case here. Make them have berry for this. Put an arrow into that one. Long gone are the coughing Koga days. Man, I missed that. That was such a sweet deck. I'm sad that one got power crept. Hey Jeff, it's been a while since I tuned in. Looking great. What's going on, Larry? Yeah, I dropped a little over 50 pounds last year. From almost, gosh, I guess it's almost 60 pounds now. I went from almost 230 to just under 170. Weezing stats just don't look great, or they really just ain't what she used to be. Definitely lacks lead. Comfy Tina in the back. We're going first, so we can wait to play them out. Does the new Marvel Snap card released today look good? Does not look good, no. Would be surprised if it's competitive. Happily surprised, but still surprised all the same. We'll give it the old college best today. Yeah, today's Elixir for Marvel Snap. Man, I don't know. Maybe it's a coincidence that I'm inviting trouble by saying this, but I gotta say, having the Pokemon Pocket YouTube channel in member-only mode the last couple of days has made the stream feel far more chill. I don't know what it is that's different about that, because the Twitch chat's actually been open, he says, inviting trolls over. But they were... The Pocket YouTube channel was really on one at the end of last week. This is definitely not a Tapu Lele matchup. It's been a while, Celebi. How are you doing? You've got more legs than I recall. Yeah, the last turn restriction on Elixir is very strange. It really feels like they just didn't want to give an answer to Marvel Snap's problem child of Shang-Chi. Do they have another healing bit here? And the problem is, even if I power through this first arena, they have the second one set up in the back, right? Although, I guess maybe Guzma's our saving grace here. Who is the Jessica Rabbit-looking Pokemon? That's Mommy Serena to you, my dear pleb. Goozemeister. Goozemeister's ready to cook up an onion here. We do die to Candy plus Kitty Cat, yeah? Meow. I'm not dead yet! I'm not dead yet! What do you think about Drudagon in this current metagame? I think if Drudagon was good, it would be seeing play. I think that's kind of the response to most of the cards. Like, we're at a point where the metagame's developed enough where if things were good, they would be getting played. Alright, they never have a stage 1 in a million years, yes? Never in a million years. No stage 1, no candy. No candy, big kitty. That was the long pause of a gamer that doesn't have it yet. Alright, so Barry and Dawn are both lethal, so 40% to win here. Wait, that said there's no cards in the deck for them to find, which means they're just not playing a stage 1 for Sprigatito? That's what that means, right? Because they didn't have the stage 1, and they didn't find it. God bless America. These freaking video gamers. There's 2 capes in my deck, yeah? If I find either of them, we win the game. Cool. I feel like that's one of those things where despite a bunch of decks being successful while doing it, I think it's wrong. I think playing 0 of your stage 1s is a miss. I think you should absolutely have at least one, especially in a deck like that where you can search for it with the basic. I think even in decks without something like Meowscarada, you want at least one. Hey, thanks to whoever checked out the Into the AM sale. I just got another email let me know my code was used. If you ever wonder where all my wonderful graphic shirts come from that you see me wearing on stream, they're always very colorful. They're a great way to stand out in a crowd. And express yourself through the things that you wear. They have a wonderful selection of stuff up on their site. I've been working with Into the AM for a few years now. They are most of my closet at this point. I think I'm approaching 40 shirts. I have a wide range of awesome patterns. An easy way to support my content, checking that out while they're having their Memorial Day sales. A great way to do that with my code. And then Kobola gets its downside mitigated by the Comfy here. No status conditions when we're attaching Psychic Energy, so. That being said, Kangaskhan with a helmet here is going to be a tough nut to crack. I love the Kobola did not become a sleep text at the top. Just like, yes, Pokemon Pocket, thank you for letting me know. Are they more expensive if the patterns are more complicated? No, not typically. Usually the ones that are marked down are ones they have more inventory on or they've been sitting on for a little bit in my experience. Because they add new designs every single month, so they try and work through ones that they have. So they're playing Dark Tina. Do I just build our Giratina and let this wall? I think so. Which, my feeling playing this deck so far is definitely this is just Giratina putting on its carry pants. The non-Tina parts of this deck have been a little schmedium, it feels like. I mean to ask, do the Into the AM shirts run big or more standard? I never know if I'm medium or large. More standard, I would say. But you could also check their website. They have a sizing guide that shows the exact measurements, Oni. Although I will say their fits in general are pretty good. I've started getting their medium since I lost weight, but their larges still feel okay. So when in doubt, probably size up, but they have a pretty good measurement guide on their site. My closet is a mix of both mediums and larges at this point, and I wear both. And because my opponent elected to get feisty with the Kangaskhan, they don't have energy on their Giratina, so they're so far off from making that happen. I guess the bear threatens to get the follow-up knockout here. So we'll crack them down to 30, and then we have 70 ready to go. Which is not nothing. Comfy being relevant here with the bear. They need a Pokemon Center Lady and a potion here on top of the cape they already have. God. I suppose that they technically don't have us dead on board still, because the bear with the cape means the Darkrai doesn't clean us on the backswing, which is nice. Guzma off the top gets us the win. Only 1 in 10 to find that, though. Uber was taken. Thanks for the entire year of support. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Welcome back. Evan, thanks for hanging out for 11 months. Good morning, good morning. Heyo, that's lethal. No, it's not. No, it's not, because the bear has a retreat cost of 2. God bless America. I should have done that. Should not have done that. Should not have done that. Dang it, Bobby. Oh, I punted. I needed to put the Tapu out. And now I'm dead because of that mistake. Never mind, didn't matter. Didn't matter, they had the Guzma. Alright, we're gonna take a brief pause for the cause to let some adverts roll. We're gonna play a few more with this when we get back at least, but so far my anecdote is definitely Giratina's doing some carrying here, and the rest of the surrounding pieces feel a little limp. BRB. Ooh. Chuki! Rapidly approaching a nice amount of months. Thank you for the 68-month resub. Marty Punker! Thank you for the absurdly generous tier 3 and for the 102-month resubscription. I appreciate the 8.5 years. Welcome back. Hey, Tobias, thanks for hanging out for over 5 years. Appreciate the 62. Good morning, good morning. Let's call it a fun Pokemon Pocket Economy fact. I actually learned today that despite opening almost 2,500 pack points worth of boosters, I've opened 0 4-diamond Passimidians on my account. I have 2 2-star ones, so we lost some games with him. He's not very good. But I actually haven't opened any of the base version. We were talking about quality of life features Pokemon Pocket desperately needs earlier. And this right here is actually an example of another. When you have a choice with a card like Passimidian's ability where you need to pick a card to move the energies to, and there's only one choice, you shouldn't have to click and a timer shouldn't come up. It should just automatically make the choice for you. When there's a default choice, just do it and move on. Don't make anybody click anything. What are the washing instructions on the glow-in-the-dark t-shirts like? If you're supposed to do something special when washing the glow-in-the-dark t-shirts, I was unaware. I assume they would list that on the website for the page if there's any, but I haven't done anything special and all of mine still glow months later. Does it say I'm supposed to do something special with them? In 5 years, I'm gonna tell my kids that this card was S tier. And nothing can beat it, and they're not gonna believe me. Power creep do be wild, gamers. Maybe I was supposed to have buried here, actually. Rather than building the Tina. Although I didn't have the Snorlax on turn 1. Maybe when we drew it on 2, I was supposed to pivot. Big never punished energy here. Sometimes lucky rubber ducky. I think we're supposed to lead on Tapu against Fire Energy. Are you comfortable saying how much you spent on Pocket? I think I'm in, and this is such a dangerous thing. I don't actually know. I'm pretty sure it's in the 3,000 to 4,000 range. I spent pretty hard chasing cosmetics in the first few sets. I should run, I have a tool that you could export your Google Play purchase history, and then I have a tool that separates it out based on game. I haven't done it for Pocket in a minute. Can you write your purchases off on your taxes? So, I am an LLC that elects to operate as an S-Corp or something along those lines. I don't know the legalities of it, but I spend money, and then I give the information on the money that I spent to an accountant who does the legally appropriate things to make sure I pay the government the least amount of money possible. What exactly does that entail? I have no idea. Will there be tariffs on streaming in the future? Who knows? They were talking about tariffing foreign movies coming into the country, which is only one step away from trying to tariff purchases in mobile games and things related to my job, so. Like, no, but also like, gestures vaguely at Donald Trump and all the other nonsense. And then as a specific reference, I personally have lost thousands of dollars in advertising revenues from companies that pulled out of advertising in the United States while all of this happened, so. It's not great, to say the least. Our plan certainly came together this game. Dawn looking real clean here. Good night. But Jeff, a tariff is a tax on other countries. A tariff is a tax on other countries, and Mexico is gonna pay for the wall. He's probably got some oceanfront property in Arizona to sell me too. Unfortunately, the people that support him are sycophants and idiots, so none of the lies matter. B-Ball, thanks for the third of a year. Welcome back. Good morning. Sleepy Gengar, allow you to meet your maker. And the Tina Alima angle here is about to be real good, huh? I'll put a cape on something just in case. Mercilessly baked. Mercilessly baked. Oh no! Oh no! Lax Tina Lima sounds like a funky song worth listening to. It sounds like one of those medications you get an advertisement for that has a list of side effects a mile long. If you have uncontrollable bowel movements after taking Lax Tina Lima, please consult your physician immediately. I can be an ambulance chasing law firm. Here at Lax Tina and Lima, we have recovered billions of dollars in settlements. If we don't collect, you don't pay. It's funny. It's funny because it's sad. Whenever I travel through a major city, I'm always a little surprised at how many ambulance chasing lawyer billboards there are. They don't really exist here in central Illinois where I live. So I've got the Elima lined up. Tina, oopsie! I didn't realize our opponent was such a cultured individual. Are they switching to the mind boost, chat? Oh yeah, they're totally gonna get boosted. You can thank Reagan for all the advertising of medical things in the US. Yeah, basically every terrible thing that happens in the United States has some type of way to trace it back to the Reagan administration in some way. If it's awful and happening in the US, Reagan probably had a hand in it in some way. With these two EXs, they actually can't fire the Mess Spirit right until I kill one of them, and if I kill one of them, they lose the game, so. I'm not sure our opponent really thought this one through. I moved to the US from India, and the pharma advertisements were a shocker when I moved here. Absolutely. They're real bad. They could have the bounce supporter, yeah. But like, even if they had like a cape for this, we have Guzma in hand, right? So they're clean. I was in a view age. Yeah, we were talking about Pokemon I had favorited. And Mew was in my favorite still from forever ago. Thanks, Comfy. Appreciate you. Needed that with the retreat cost of 2 here. Boop. Boop, 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 boop on the nose. There might be something to this Giratina card, gamers. It's pretty good. I've heard it may be the next big thing. It's true. This was fine. Like I said, I think a lot of the power was the Tina aspect. Snorlax was reasonable. I think things like Tapu and Oricorio are a little bit harder sell, and these decks with higher retreat cost, a lot of their power comes from their maneuverability. The Koala was fine in spots, but I feel like its power level wasn't worth having to play a Comfey, which was an otherwise kind of clunky card. Although we did get to absolutely dumpster that Incineroar deck thanks to Comfey, so... Yeah, Comfey like, did stuff, but part of the stuff it was doing was, like, because the Cobolo was there. When the side effects list even death, yes, yep. Yeah, whatever the farmer commercials like get through their list of side effects, I'm like, man, whatever you're taking this for better be real bad if we're gonna roll the dice on all these side effects. All right, I think we're gonna wrap on Pokemon Pocket for the morning. We may or may not do more Pocket tomorrow. I think we probably will. We should have the new set release video early Thursday, and the new set should be releasing a week from Thursday based on data mines on May 29th, but I hit Masters yesterday with Gengar. If you missed that, it's up on the YouTube channel. Feel free to check that out. We had a really slick 10-1 run with a 9-win streak to get my last 90 or so points I needed into Masters, so if you want the list we did that with, it's up on the YouTube side. Now, we're going to kick on over to Stappen for a little while. They have a new card release this afternoon in a couple hours. We're going to see if I can convert into hitting Infinite in that game before that happens. Appreciate everybody hanging out. Don't go anywhere. If you're watching on the YouTube side, you'll need to kick on over to the Jeff Hoagland channel. I was looking for one more shout out before we shut off the Hoaglandia Pocket stream to the end of the AM sponsor. Appreciate working with them for many years. If you're in the market for some new clothes, you're looking for a fantastic gift for someone, check them out for some really unique stuff on a discount with their Memorial Day sale going on right now through the end of the month.